Hey there guys, welcome to the Amazing Brick Network. My name's Tori Favreau and I hope that this finds you well. Well, we have been doing so much with the channel. It is utterly incredible. I've had so much fun presenting the latest and greatest in Lego, builds from our Lego community, our Facebook Lego community, and things that I find on the internet that you may provide interesting. In addition to that, my own builds that I show, like a time lapse of how to make something, or just current sets that you may not have got your hands on yet, exclusive sets. Any way I can present Lego to you is certainly the way I'll do it. But one thing I had thought about recently, and it's long overdue, is I thought that we could actually have a bit of a chat to each other about our love of Lego. Now, the way we do this is quite simple. You can email the show at amazingbricknetwork@gmail.com, okay? Or you can just simply comment below with your own memories of Lego. And I just thought, well, this will be a great way of starting this up. My aim also is to make this into a podcast. So the content on some of these shows now will be engineered that you will not need to watch this. Of course, if you do, great, you'll get to see me for what that's worth. But otherwise, you can listen because it's going to be more focused, and I'll even scratch my nose on the camera. It's going to be more focused on informality and also just the chance for us to have a bit of a chat to each other. I will be on occasion checking the time. I'm totally going to be honest with this. I'm a bit nervous about doing it, but I thought, well, let's start off this particular series telling you about my love of Lego, and then I want to hear about your love of Lego. Or where it came from. I was that excited. I had this idea when I was out and about today. I just came straight home, put on the camera, didn't even do the hair, so it's messy, and I really don't care. I'm so excited to be doing this and a little bit nervous at the same time. So as I said, my name's Tori. I'm 48 and I live in Geelong, Victoria, Australia, and I've been into Lego for the longest of times. But like anyone else, I went through my dark period where I didn't play with Lego. I didn't have the opportunity, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit about that and just intersperse it with some photos. And I'd love to know what your particular experience was with Lego whilst we do that. So I received my first Lego set, funnily enough, in 1978, and it was the classic space set. I was so excited to get it. And this building toy, I was a little kid, but just the wonderment. I received a few sets actually, but it was the Spaceman that stuck with me, and it's the Spaceman that today I love them. The classic Spaceman, in particular, the red one, because that was my first set. What set number did I get? I honestly do not know, but I remember being utterly transfixed by the fact I could pull all this stuff apart, put it back together again. I didn't know what Lego was. I didn't care. I was too little. I was 6 or 7. This thing was incredible. And to this day, my love of the red Spaceman is there. I mean, even to the point, guys, that like I've got him tattooed in multiple places. I've got the blue Spaceman on my hands here, and yeah, I've got the red Spaceman there. These are all Lego tattoos, and I don't think I've ever really shown them before, and it's really hard on this camera. There we go, but twist, twist, twist. Yep, red Spaceman there as well. And I just don't get sick of it. I love that imagery. So I had the classic space set, which I really enjoyed and loved. And that led through to some of the castle sets. I remember having some of the soldiers and a couple of the little sets that came with it. They were mainly bought by my parents and my nana. And I remember when I played with them and finished with them, I never kept the boxes. I did not keep the instructions. And you know what? Even as an adult collector, I remember the joy I had playing with them. And I certainly don't regret the fact that I did throw away those things. You look at them and go, oh, I wish I'd kept them because they would have been worth money. But my Lego collection's a bit of a weird one. Like the more modern sets, yeah, I've still got the boxes and everything. But that tub of the loose bricks is such a joyful thing for me that I don't think I really do regret the fact that they're all mixed bricks. In fact, those mixed bricks formed part of my larger collection down the track, and where I'd part them out. And as I came out of my dark age, I wanted to really build upon my Lego. And I then went and parted everything out so as I'd have spare bricks. We all know that. If you've gone through it before, we certainly know the struggle is real, that's for sure. So I would have played with Lego till I was about 14 or 15. I then, I was still playing with Lego, but I also got into the Transformers toys as well. So that was what I was collecting. And of course, Star Wars, which has been a love of mine almost my entire life also. It's absolutely amazing to think about. Like, I'm almost 50. Star Wars has just celebrated its 50th anniversary. And I think I got to see Star Wars the second time that it arrived in cinemas in Australia in the very early 80s. And I was enamored with it. I loved that. I loved my Lego and my Transformers and this little fantasy world that I'd built up. I joined the military and when I was 17, and that ended my first foray, my first love of Lego. That had to go. I couldn't take them on the ship with me. And I do recall, like, there's a very long period that passes now, probably till I'm in about 31 or 32, when I got my Lego from my mother. I'd never gotten rid of it, and I started to play with it and build with it again. I am not as talented as some of the people that you see online, but I certainly love making things, and the joy that that brought me was nothing short of sensational. And so from there, about the age of 31, 32, I started collecting sets again, and I had so much fun. I wondered where Lego had gone my whole life. Any stress that I had in my life, playing with Lego would certainly alleviate it. It is not only a beautiful art form, it is a stress reliever. It is something that I think should be in therapy sessions for people, just being able to play. And I think that's one of the aims that I would like to be able to do down the track, is provide the ability to supply Lego to places that they can use it as a therapeutic tool. And I do want people to discover the joy that it can bring, as it has me, as I'm sure it has you. And it is one of those things that is important. I always do want people to support the channel. I want people to watch the ads. I do want to generate revenue from this show eventually, that I can do charity work. That's the aim, to do charity with Lego and to be able to support what I need to do for my community, my whole worldwide community, not just my local area. There's people all over the place that are affected by, famine, by war, by this horrible COVID-19. If I can somehow raise the money to be able to send stuff to them or positively impact on their lives, then that's what we're going to do, guys. That's what this show's about. That's what this show has always been about. So if you're wondering why I'm asking you to subscribe, it's because we need to make money to support all these causes. I just want to make people happy. There's enough sadness in the world. And as we all know, Lego brings out the happy in everyone. It truly does. It's not just, I'll send them over some off-brand bricks. I don't want to send rubbish to people. I want to be able to eventually send big bulk lots of loose bricks, Lego bricks, to people, because I know it's not going to break. I know it's going to survive being in water or in sand or in... It sounds silly wanting to send toys around the world, or maybe it doesn't, but that's my aim. Okay, I got that out of the way. I'm probably going to bring it up again because it's something I really strongly believe in. My aim is eventually to give away as much Lego as I possibly can to children and adults that really, really need it. So it's funny to think of it like that, but that's the honest truth. That's been the aim since day one, other than to share my love of Lego with you, is to be able to eventually support those causes that I feel so strongly about. And yeah, I need your support to do that. So if I'm saying please subscribe to the channel, that is the reason why. So please subscribe. Please click the bell for notifications. Please listen to the ads. Don't skip them. It all gets us to that point that I can do this other work that I'm so passionate about. But let's get back to the story. So it's about ages 31, 32. I then decide that I'm really getting into my Lego, really enjoying it. And Lego does the unthinkable to me. The unthinkable. My entire life, I've loved minifigures. Now, I'm going to make that a story for another time because I can talk about minifigures a lot, but they released the collectible minifigures. Oh my goodness me. So the Lego buying continues in absolute earnest and is the impetus for more sets that I can populate the buildings. There's the modular sets that have come out. They're my absolute passion in terms of building, though there is tons of other cool stuff that Lego does. And so Lego for me has been going strong for, I'm 48 now, at least another 17 years of solid Lego. Okay, in that time, in my local area, I started up a Lego club, which still exists to this day. I'm no longer a part of it, but it does still exist to this day. And I am associated with tons of Lego people all around the world, including you awesome guys. Now, my name's Tori Favreau. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but here's the spelling of it. If you do want to friend me on Facebook, you certainly can. I love meeting new people, chatting to you about Lego. And I'm also blessed that I've, over the years, just because people have come to know how much I love this thing, I'm also friends with other very well-known builders, and that I can learn things and pass that information on. I am not the best mock builder, and I never will be. It doesn't stop me from trying to put things together. I just fail miserably. I'm not as good as you guys. But with inspiration from my friends who have appeared on TV shows like Lego Masters and have been involved in different conventions, festivals, all with Lego, I am so sure that we are going to find out so many neat things about how to manipulate that brick that we love so much. So I hope that you enjoyed today. This is something very different, but it's certainly from the heart. Until next time, do click that subscribe button, please. Clicking the bell for notifications. And I really do want to know about your experience with Lego and just what it was that got you into that brick we know so well. Thank you, Lego, for being my salvation through very tough times. And I cannot wait to hear all of your stories. So till next time, as always, guys, very happy building, and I'll see you on the next show. Cheers.